Hello, I'm so happy to be doing our first episode of 2026. And today we decided to do a fun, quick episode, just recapping our experience in the last 10 months since we launched this podcast and these incredible experiences.
That's right. The first couple of episodes were January and February, but first of all, it was just me, and then it was bi-weekly. But fortunately, we encountered each other at January, I think it was,
That's right. That's
and
right.
shook hands on what has turned out to be an excellent collaboration on this podcast.
Yeah, we went from me not knowing anything about it to me being a co-host to to me spending all my free time on it because we are now doing 2 episodes a week. It has certainly been an incredibly rewarding experience.
Yeah. So I would love to, first of all, thank our listeners who listen to and enjoy and comment on and respond to the podcast. You're the reason we're doing this. We want to spread our love for the music we love.
And I really want to thank all of the musicians and also people of interest who have participated and had been willing to have us interview them. And I've learned so much. What are some things that you've learned, Mike?
Yeah, I found it quite fascinating that when I ask musicians, and we're talking about our favorite top tier musicians, their best piece of advice, and it's always keep the love of the music, and your objective is to sound like you when you play or when you sing. You got to move past being an imitator to expressing yourself. That was consistent advice, and I've taken that to heart.
Yes, and every single person who we interviewed, whether you interviewed them or I interviewed them, I learned something from, and that was also from the people in our homegrown, locally known Brooklyn folks.
Yeah.
Just learning about their efforts on behalf of bluegrass and their musical escapades has been really inspiring.
Yeah, I love the way you put it. It's musicians you may not know but should, right? These are people we see around the jam circle, and they're unbelievable musicians and great people, and it's great to be able to bring them forward. So, Liz, tell me, what are some of your favorite episodes?
Well, I was so excited, of course, to do every single episode that I did around women in bluegrass.
Yes.
Missy Raines was like, I was a little starstruck at first,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, Missy Raines. Boy, was she a relatable person. And I was really excited to hear, of course, Carter and Cleveland, Darren Aldridge, and those were some of my favorite interviews.
Right.
Oh, and Alison Brown. That was
Yeah.
another really special moment. But I also really enjoyed just being able to share my own bluegrass experience, like when we did it for Podunk and when you went to your different Fiddle Hell and Australia, Bluegrass Down Under.
Yeah, that surprised the hell out of me, I got to tell you. Australia is physically about as far as you can go away from, the Atlantic mid-region where bluegrass grew up. And yet there's a thriving bluegrass scene down there. I really was quite surprised. I don't know. I look back and there's just so many great episodes. I really enjoyed speaking to all our guests, and a couple stand out. Getting to talk to Rie Park, who's at this point 10. We've spoken to her twice, and she's out there performing and inspiring other kids and playing with other kids. She was a real pleasure. We've had her back. Michael Daves was our second guest, and he was also our 52nd guest. So, he's enjoying his 50th anniversary with us, and he's always got such incredible insights to share. But probably one of the things that I really enjoyed was being invited to be the podcaster in residence to several events. Like we were in Delfest, Fiddle Hell, Podunk. We have a couple of episodes for other events that we visited. And it's just so much fun to go and capture the vibe and the flow of these events and let our listeners share that with us.
So speaking of Australia, give us some stats, Mike.
Sure. First of all, as we said, this would technically be episode number 54. So let's say 53 and a half, because this is not going to be a full-length episode. But we are listened to in 51 countries, including the U.S., And Liz, can you guess the top 3 countries outside of the U.S.?
Well, I know Australia
Yep.
because we've discussed that. And I was thinking England and Germany.
Okay, the UK and Germany are high on the list, but the list is actually Switzerland and Canada and
Oh,
Australia.
sorry, Canada, I forgot about you.
We never forget
Obviously,
Canada. And that
so
said,
close.
that's 51 countries around the world, which is pretty incredible. And also in the United States, we've been listened to in 49 of the 50 states. So Wyoming, you got to pick up your game a little bit there.
If anybody knows anybody in Wyoming, send
Just-
them a copy of this. Send
That's
them a
right.
link to this
That's right.
and get them to listen. So we at least have one listen in Wyoming.
And for our Australian listeners, we have been listened to in every state of Australia, including Tasmania, except the Northern Territories. I spoke to my son-in-law who's Australian, and he said, you have to find the one person in the Northern Territories who has an internet connection and try and persuade them to listen to the show. So I asked him to go take care of that for us. It's been an incredible year. We are, as a show, as an organization, I guess, professional members of the IBMA, and we're so proud to be associated. Both Liz and I have been involved with and looking to get more involved with that organization, which is doing so much to promote and spread the love of bluegrass music.
And also, unexpected but gorgeous bonus was our ear trumpet microphones.
Yeah.
I have this shiny brass ear trumpet microphone on my desk, and it really makes me feel professional. It makes me feel like I'm really a podcaster.
That's right. So thank you to the Grams at Ear Trumpet Labs for sponsoring us and providing us with great sound. Also, usually when we cover an event like Fiddle Hell or Podunk, or we interview a band and go to one of their concerts, that's as guests of the organizers of those shows or concerts or festivals. We'd like to thank everyone who has invited us and shown us that hospitality, and we really, really enjoyed sharing our experience with the listeners. Also, we want to thank the folks at thesonicplanet.com, an internet radio station that's been rebroadcasting our podcast on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. and again at Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And a fun part of that is not only do we broadcast our episode, but we also get to curate music by the guests because we fill an hour slot and the episode is usually about 35 minutes. So it's fun to pick 25 or so minutes of music by our guests. And we hope the listeners there enjoy the show as well.
One other surprising thing for me is I have two sisters, and some of you know me and my sister Jennifer. She does play bluegrass, but my other sister Ruth Ann does not. And she really enjoys listening to the Bluegrass Brooklyn podcast. And that's very satisfying to me because she doesn't know who Michael Daves is or, any of these people, but she still enjoys listening. And so that's a real bonus to have the support of my family and to know that they're enjoying it as well.
Yeah. I really love when people come up to us and say, oh, Bluegrass Brooklyn podcast, I listened. I enjoyed the episode with Michael Cleveland, Jason Carter. And Jason and Michael, if you're listening, I'm still working on Carnegie Hall. But let's talk a little bit about what we got coming up for season 5, because it's going to be an incredible season.
Well, first of all, next up is both Avril and Celia from Delamay. I cannot wait to go see them on January 28th at Jalopy Theater. Another wonderful episode that's coming up is Alice Gerard. What an honor to listen to and hear her stories and have her share. And I'm so excited for that.
Alice Gerard, that's amazing. Yeah, I know we have an interview with Ned Luberecki and Jim Pankey and some other well-known artists. And by the way, I think we both agree that the degree to which really well-known, nationally and internationally known bluegrass figures are willing to just say, sure, I'll hop on your show and let's talk. They're so accessible and so personable and so friendly. It's very gratifying. I also know that we have some episodes related to events coming up. We went to the Swannanoa Gathering, which is an amazing camp/instructional environment that takes place near Asheville, Western North Carolina every year. We have an episode coming up talking about several other festivals that we visited. So we'll have a little nostalgia during the winter for those summer festivals.
Yeah.
With any luck, we'll have some coverage of the New Orleans Bayou Bluegrass Festival, and several others.
Yes. And I would like to take a moment to really thank everybody for listening. When we started doing this, it wasn't like we had a whole business plan, like we were
Right.
this was gonna be our next million. But there's nothing more gratifying than to follow a creative impulse, and having a partnership with somebody is always the best way to have something be successful. Especially thank my co-host, Mike.
You're very welcome, Liz. I'm so pleased that we managed to collaborate on this. Though I think if I look back and see how many fiddle and bass players we have on the show, we're going to have to diversify a little bit more but you know, I think you go where your heart is. And speaking of which, one thing you and I have both learned to share with our listeners are the themes that are close to our heart. You mentioned women in bluegrass, homegrown, locally known. I've been very gratified by the first piece of fan mail I ever got was on our Heart Mind Music, where we talk about all the things related to being a better musician outside of sitting in the practice room and playing, mentality, a psychology approach, and all of that. So I'm really hopeful that this season we can bring more great content and have as much fun as we did in our first year.
Yes. Well, thank you again for listening. Thank you again, Mike,
Yep.
for going on this fun journey with me. And we have lots more in 2026.
Absolutely. So please remember to follow us at Bluegrass Brooklyn. That's spelled BKLYN. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, even YouTube if you go looking. And if you're looking for jams in Uptown Manhattan, Riverdale, the Bronx, New Jersey, and soon the entire world, check out bluegrassjamsnearme.com. Anything else, Liz?
That's it. Wishing everybody a wonderful new year.
Yep, Happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing you around the Jam Circle.